बोला हवे ते मला काय त्याचे पुरे जाणतो मीच माझे बळ.
A chronicle of crucial time of transition in the history, showcasing the love, support between the two couples, Guru and Malti. Main characters in this novel, Swallowing the Sun, authored by Mrs. Lakshmi Murdeshwar Puri, a woman who is a real example of women empowerment, giving a strong message to the young generations with a book release in Mumbai. So come, let's take you in one-to-one conversation with the author Mrs. Lakshmi Murdeshwar Puri, a former Assistant Secretary General, United Nations and Ambassador.
Ma'am, first of all, congratulations to you on Swallowing the Sun. It is fiction, as we were, seeing your wonderful press release. So my question to you is how Guru and Malti is close to you and what it depicts in this particular novel.
Well, as I said, this novel is very much inspired by the life and times of my mother and father, Malti Desai and Balkrishna Ganesh Murdeshwar, to whom I have dedicated it. But it is fiction. And I have taken these characters on different paths from their actual life, but there are many elements that are similar or the same. And therein lies, the intriguing aspect of this novel. And it is a coming-of-age novel. It is a historical fiction. It is an epic love story in the time of the freedom struggle, in the time of a civilizational reawakening, in the time of a cultural renaissance that was happening, particularly in Maharashtra. And I've tried to capture all of that. And also the key messages in this novel are about the swallowing the sun. Message is that every person has a right to self-realization and must try to do the impossible, attain the impossible, and with keep faith, keep daring, and also persevere. And sometimes you may meet with tragedy, you may meet with triumph, but you must try nevertheless. So that is a key message for all, whether men or women, but for women in particular. I mean, my women characters are very strong.
And that's what I'm going to ask you about, the women empowerment.
Yes.
The book is, all about the women empowerment as well.
Yes.
So as you are a right example of the women empowerment in so much of things you are doing, you have been some sort of a holding position in UN as well. So how do you see those characters and how the women empowerment message is conveying through this book?
My mother herself was a symbol of an empowered woman. And she was a strong feminist, so was my father. And on top of that, of course, I also have my own career path, which was as a diplomat in the Indian Foreign Service and later in the United Nations. And in the last 7 years of the 15 years that I was with the United Nations, I led one of the first global organization for gender equality and women's empowerment. So that mission is very much ingrained in me. And also now, the climactic part was being part of a global project for gender equality. So the novel is infused with that message of gender justice.
If you have to take some quotes from the novel in respect to the women empowerment, what comes in your mind?
There is an anthem there about at some stage where Malti faces a challenge. Then a young girl whom she is teaching in Banaras Hindu University, she comes up and she recites a poem by N.V. Tilak, which is बोला हवे ते मला काय त्याचे पुरे जाणतो मीच माझे बळ. So what she's saying is, I care not what is your opinion, I well know my own strength, my own dominion.
Very well said, ma'am. This book is a representation of many, many characters, and of course with the freedom struggle era, and then comes your parents, how the romance was there in. So what it is conveying towards the coming young generation?
There are many things. I always say this is a book about young people, for young people, and not only for their present but also for their future. The Ardhanarishwar man-woman relationship, the way it is evolving living now. I think there are many lessons to be learned from this novel. The love story that this novel is about, how friendship between men and women blossoms, and then some of it turns into marriage, but some of it doesn't. But that, mutually empowering, empathetic relationship that men and women of today must cultivate is one of the messages, and how they must communicate, and also that relationships they draw upon common interests and common causes that you pursue. So the heroine in this novel, they are fired by the idea of India, of reimagining India. Similarly, they have cultural interests, literary interests, they have theatre interests. So all of that is something that really enriches your life.
नमस्कार, आप देख रहे हैं द ट्रू हंट फॉर द पीपल बाय द पीपल।